Dr. Dajani and also our other colleague, Ms. Karen Grogan, for encouraging you to be here for this presentation by Fulbright Scholar from Ghana, Dr. Victoria Bubunyo Bam. She has traveled a long ways, actually, to be with Millikan University out in Decatur, Illinois. And every year I take advantage of those who are here from different countries to visit Bluefield State College and enrich us in our own curriculum offerings. And also because they make the sacrifice to be with us, we try to recognize their presence and acknowledge their presence with a little something. And this is such an important part of it, that to give it that significance that is owed to such an occasion. I'm always lucky to have the leadership of our institution to be here to do a presentation. It is my honor also to share with you Dr. Capehart, who is our president, who also was a Fulbright Scholar to Moldova in 2006. So that says a lot. We are blessed to have Fulbright Scholars here all the time, and then occasionally. So I really am grateful to you for giving up your time, and you for making the sacrifice to be with us, because it's always a risk when you travel. So prior to Dr. Bam's presentation, it is now my honor to share with you Dr. Capehart.
Dr. Bam, first of all, we'd like to, on behalf of Bluefield State College, we'd like to thank you for coming. I remember standing in front of a group in Chisinau, Moldova, which is where I did my Fulbright Scholarship for. I was there for almost 6 months, and what a great experience, and to have the opportunity to share some of your background and your experiences with these individuals. So we truly appreciate that. But if you wouldn't mind helping me also, I wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer when I was younger. So what I'm saying is, I became a Fulbright Scholar because I became interested in a particular area. And there's an area that I decided that I wanted to focus on. And so when I started focusing on that particular area, that's what actually led to my Fulbright Scholar. So what I'm saying is here, don't sit back there and think like these people are the smartest people in the world. A lot of us are just people that, although she is, I'm not. Don't think that that's something beyond your reach. Really, all it is a lot of hard work. If you put the hard work in, it is the most gratifying experience you would ever have. We had students that were Fulbright Scholars in Moldova when I was there. You can almost pick where you want to go a lot of time. You can go anywhere in the world. Quite frankly, they pay you really well to go, even when you're a student. And so it really is a great opportunity. So I want to use this as an opportunity, as I try to do with every one of your classes, to encourage you to consider looking into the opportunities that are available through the Fulbright program. And if you ever have any questions about it, just feel free to call me. But that's why I think what your presence does here today is it will inspire these people to look at the opportunity we can have and to go share our experiences. So thank you very much for coming. I think they're going to look right over here. Okay.
One more. Very fast.
Got it? Thank you very much.
One more.
Oh, you want to do it again? Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
enjoy the presentation.
All right.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Very talk. What we want to do is we want to really
All right. So, good morning again. Good morning. And I thank the school management and then Professor for giving me this opportunity to share with you experiences. At the end of it, we'll talk a bit about Fulbright, as he said. So this morning, we want to, sorry, can you hear me at the back? All right, thank you.
Yeah.
We want to talk about public health in Ghana. And I hear a bit of your background, students without borders, you know. So let's just, that's the map of Ghana. Ghana is in West Africa. You know, we have 16 regions. So just to get a bit of things about Ghana, and then we'll go on with the real.
Hey Japanese, hope you liked the Ghana episode. Ghana, Africa's training wheels country. You gotta love them. So, without further ado. So a little side note, I'm actually going to make Flag Friday also a Fan Friday, in which I open up the packages that you guys send to our public mailbox. So stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm going to open up these packages. In the meantime, let's jump in gold. And the red stands for... And this is probably the part where you'd expect an animation from like Vincent or Potter, but technical difficulties, it couldn't get done on Ghana episode. Is actually part of a bigger section called Black Star Square, which has a sports stadium and a memorial park that looks pretty cool. Now in terms of their coat of arms, like mentioned in the episode, there are 2 golden eagles wearing Black Star of Africa medallions flanking the sides of a shield divided into 4 quadrants. The top left is showing a sword and a staff used by chiefs and linguists in ceremony symbolizing the traditional authority. The second top right quadrant shows the Osu Castle, the presidential palace located off the coast. The bottom left quadrant shows a cocoa tree embodying the agricultural richness of Ghana, especially in cocoa. And finally, the bottom right depicts a gold mine symbolizing the wealth and minerals, especially in gold. In the center of the shield, on a green St. George's cross with gold fimbriations, is a lion representing the continuous cooperation between Ghana and the rest of the Commonwealth nations. On top lies the crest of a Black Star of Africa in a gold outline on top of a torus with the national colors, all of which is on top of a grassy field and scroll reading freedom and justice. Whew, looking good, Ghana. Gotta love those golden eagles. And gold, everything. Gold is kind of your thing. So now that that's finished, let's open up these packages. So I actually got 2 packages from Australia. One was from James from Perth, and this one is from Sharni from Adelaide. I'm hoping James is first, all right? Oh my gosh, what do we got? Oh, Vegemite. Now, I've had Marmite. I've never had Vegemite. Actually, you know what? I'll try a little bit right now. Look at that, there's a little bubble. Interesting. Kangaroo crossing. It's like a little koala and kangaroo. Aussie rubber wrist.
So that's a bit about Ghana, you know, our people and all that. And we can get the link to see a lot more about Ghana. So what is the responsibility of our Ministry of Health? What it seeks to do is to ensure that everyone living in Ghana, whether a Ghanaian, a foreigner, or whatever, is in good health. That is what they are tasked to do. And so we have all the health facilities reporting to them and they being responsible. Now, we are talking this morning about the public health challenges in Ghana. Then I'll talk about what we are doing about those challenges and the gains we have made, and still areas that need to be worked on. So this morning's interaction is mainly about the public health challenges in Ghana. So just to share with you the major areas of challenges, what the Sustainable Development Goals, in the past many years that we've had external support, you know, to address public health issues, a lot of gains were made. But at the end of 2015, in assessing what has been done, major areas that we still had some things to do when it comes to public health is the issue of maternal and child health. Mothers of childbearing age and the babies, particularly babies or children to the age of 5 years. That is where we have a lot of challenge to deal with them. And then when it comes to that, for the mothers or the women of childbearing age, people, the World Health Organization will classify them from about 15 years to 49 years as women of fertility, in the fertility age group. And what happens while we still have some challenges is the issues of high death in them because of some challenges. And the main causes of the deaths in the women, it's about bleeding whilst they are pregnant or immediately they deliver, the issues of bleeding, then infection, and they realize that and having access to the health facility, being able to get to the health facility as quickly as possible, because health facilities in rural areas in particular are sparsely located, far from people, and so being able to get to the health facility so they can get help has contributed to this, because some of those rural areas, the road network is not good. It's poor. And so getting people there, and in even some areas, in Ghana, in a lot of the rural communities, in each week, they have designated a day as the market day, where they all go to a central point to do, to sell their wares. And what happens in some of those communities where the high death is coming from, it's because the road network is poor. It's only on the market days that people get transport in and out of that place. And so on other days, it becomes difficult. So for a pregnant woman, if the woman is even in labor doesn't inform anybody, to be able to walk to the next facility. So then they would use local people to do the delivery. If the woman doesn't have any complication, no problem. The local person that we call a traditional birth attendant can deliver safely. But the moment the woman develops some challenges with the pregnancy, then the person cannot go. Then we have trouble because he cannot reach the health facility. So those are some of the things that have contributed to what has happened, why we still have challenges with women dying during pregnancy or immediately after delivery, what they classify as the first 6 weeks after the delivery of the baby. But the children, it's mainly malaria and diarrheal diseases that is causing the problems. For malaria, the pregnant women and the children under 5 years are the ones who suffer it most. For children, when they have they come in to the world with some immunity from their mother, but it's realized that after 6 months, this is to govern, public health practice in Ghana. So these are major things that we are doing, and as I said, the major areas of challenge are in women's health and children's health, then environmental issues. So the things that we are doing in preventive and then curative, or trying to treat people, is this. We call it the CHIEFS concept, and that is our way of primary health care. Now, the system we have adopted of delivering primary health care to people, and with that one, we'll see a video later that will tell you a lot about the CHIEFS concept. But those are the things that are done. Then for dealing with the women in pregnancy, to be able to get the maternal mortality down. It used to be very high. For some years, we used to have it, even from the 90s, we used to have it like out of every 100,000 women that would deliver, you have like 570 die out of every 100,000 women. When compared to some industrialized areas, out of every 100,000 women, you have 10 women dying in a year. but we could have this high. Fortunately, with the support of international partners, when they did the Millennium Development Goals, it has come down to 310 out of every 100,000 women that die. But that is still very high, because what happens is that for every woman that dies, the family suffers. Because once the woman is no more, and for us, women are the housekeepers, they take care of the children. So if the woman dies whilst during pregnancy or whilst during delivery, then the young children are there. A relative may have to care for them, and it's never the same. It's never the same. If it's your mother, if you are the mother of the child, you know how to take care of the child, but if it is not a place like that. So antenatal clinics, these are prenatal clinics that are done so that...
Dr. Bam, can you just go back to the prior slide for a minute?
Okay. This one?
The one before.
Okay. The environmental
Yes.
issues?
The next one.
Okay.
Primary. Yes.
All right.
Correct. Thank you.
All right. So it's never the same. So a lot of antenatal clinics are being run, and what we are doing also is that I told you earlier that for areas that are hard to reach, it becomes difficult. So we organize what we call outreach clinics, where the health workers, the midwives, or the community health nurses would have to move once a month to those particular places to organize a clinic in a community, just get a place and organize their services there and make announcements in nearby communities so that the pregnant women can come to the health facility to have services done. And at the antenatal clinics, we give immunizations against tetanus. It's mandatory, international also, against tetanus. Then there are counseling sessions also, because nutrition is also something that contributes to low level of or high anemia in the pregnant women, which is also something that kills the pregnant women. So at these sessions, we counsel the women concerning their diet and also prepare them to take up a family planning service after delivery. Because when the woman delivers too quickly, at close intervals also, it has effect on the woman herself, her health, and also once she gets pregnant, there are people who get pregnant 3 months after delivery of a baby. Yes, people can get pregnant 3 months after delivery. Then she cannot breastfeed the baby. So the baby will suffer nutritionally as well. So we do all that during the counseling session, and after that we do health promotion. I talked about malaria and what we are doing, the ways we are trying to deal with the challenges of malaria. It's mainly people sleeping in bed nets, insecticide treated bed nets, which are long lasting. They give them one, and for most places, rural areas, it's given to them freely to encourage them, the mother and the baby, to sleep in the mosquito net and to encourage the entire family. So education is being done where people would, like the window sills will be, the nets will be treated with insecticides but you know, as you open the door in and out and that kind of thing. So we realize that it's best to sleep in the mosquito net. Unfortunately, because we are in a tropical region and the weather can be warm, you know, over 30 degrees Celsius, we use Celsius, you know. So people, instead of setting the bed net fully as it should and cover so that there will be no space for the mosquito to enter in, they would open a bit of it because they think that they need air, you know, and then so you can see the mosquito net hanging all right, but mosquitoes can still pass somewhere to enter. And even our hospitals, for children's wards, we hang up mosquito nets to protect the children. Child welfare services we do static clinics, that is organizing the clinics so that children under 5 are brought there. They are weighed so we can monitor their growth, so that if the child's growth is not going according to the curve or the graph, and you will plot it for every child. So every child has a growth monitoring chart. So if the growth is not according to what it should be, then you draw the parents' attention. Also, immunizations are given, and then nutrition services are run. So for the child welfare sessions with immunization clinics, this is one of them, and this is an outreach. The nurses have moved from the hospital setting for, they try to set up catchment areas, have moved from the hospital setting and gone into one of the communities, set up their station so they can educate the women and also immunize the children. And other forms where we want to ensure, because immunization or vaccination is the most cost-effective way of preventing diseases, preventable diseases that can have vaccines against them. Is very cost-effective, and the moment you invest in the children, then you are making them stronger, and you will get a workforce later. So other means of it is to send the nurses will go to homes to ensure that, because some people there is also the vaccine hesitancy where people don't want to be immunized. So the nurses will go to people's homes to ensure that the children are immunized. So these are some of the things that we are doing. And for malaria, so we do the bed nets, we give bed nets, we give drugs also, we do education for people to keep their environment as clean as possible. But some people will not take it. That's why we still have the mosquitoes breeding around. Fortunately for us, the Gates Foundation and other international partners have been supporting some researches for over 20 years in Africa, in some African countries, to develop the vaccine. And this year, the vaccine was launched in 3 countries, Ghana, Kenya, and Malawi, so that it will be given to children up to the age of 2 years to protect them. Environmental things, I said water was a major problem. So the way we are dealing with it is for communities to have boreholes dug. This is a type, this is another type, and things like that. So we'll just see a bit about how the CHIPS concept, and what I mean by this CHIPS is what we call the community health services planning, and delivery. And we'll just see how this is. Talk about the support of international partners.
In a little more than a decade ago, the picture of the healthcare for the world's poorest was bleak. The simplest health issues, such as pregnancy, childbirth, cholera, or even malaria, could easily turn fatal. In Ghana, the government implemented the district health strategy, which ensured that each district capital in the country benefited from a health facility. But the project proved to be woefully inadequate and ineffective in areas where communities are located several kilometers apart. This means there was the need to extend coverage of basic and primary health services to the individual communities. It required reorientation and redeployment of health personnel from hospital-based activities to community-oriented activities. It also means more health workers needed to be trained to provide the badly needed support. And for this to happen, the government of Ghana launched community health planning services, simply called the CHIPS compounds.
The CHIP compound system emanates from the primary healthcare concept. That's it, that we want to make health services available, accessible to the people at the community level. That every point in time, the health service is there, immediately at the community level. Accessible is that the people that properly work there and someone is there to give them the service. And then they themselves to own it because they have to be involved. That's why I talk about promote community participation.
The issue about chips arose as a result of the Ghana Health Service and for the matter, government of Ghana's quest to bring health services to the doorstep of the masses of communities that are dotted around the country. And it also came as a result of the fact that we know that as a service, we really don't have enough personnel and for that matter, infrastructure deployed in various places where our people can easily access geographically health services that we provide.
We want to extend services to most rural communities. And that's the best way of sending services to the rural communities. Chiefs compound take care of a cluster of communities. Ranging between 4 to about 8. That is to make the services clearly available to mothers and children.
As part of its Millennium Development Goals, Ghana was aiming at 100% easy access to healthcare for all people living in the country by the year 2015. It was hoping the CHIPS concept would be the key. But as of now, more than half of the demarcated CHIPS compounds in the country are still non-functional due to lack of drugs and other medical facilities.
This is our vital science TV. If you come this way, we take our vital science, as you can see. You have equipment. The only equipment that can use up here is the BP apparatus. That is the only thing I have for the thermometer.
Most of the women don't like delivering here because the place is not comfortable. Especially with the bed, they always complain it's too high for them. So others sometimes really prefer on the floor, so you have to be squatting and urinal, this thing in the toilets, we don't have it for the women who comes here. So when they're in labor, they say they want to feed themselves or something. You have to follow them into the bush to do that. We don't have a place for that.
The health insurance scheme is owing the health facilities so many months as we speak. The last time we were paid for these logistics were up to February this year. So from March onwards to now, we haven't had payments, and so supplies have been a challenge. And the supplies include drugs, non-consumable items like bandages, plaster. All these are bought and have to be paid for. So our suppliers are becoming a bit skeptic about having to provide these essential commodities that are not being paid for. And so if you find our chief compound, some of them may have run out of some of these supplies. And obviously nobody wants to go to a facility where you go and what they do is simply give you a prescription or a referral.
Okay. So that is our CHIPS concept. And you've seen how our primary healthcare system, it's like. And as we said, Fulbright gives opportunity for you to see, to give your expertise to other countries and also get some experiences. So it's a very good opportunity. You can read more about it and apply. And as you saw in the first video, there are nice places in Ghana. When it comes to health, where the challenges are, it's mainly in our rural communities. That's why we have to show this. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Ghana, to have an interaction with and experience some of our health services that are delivered. We have some other schools from the US where students come on the study abroad program, come and spend about 2 weeks with us to study public health in Africa, using Ghana as an example. You are welcome. Thank you very much. And any questions that you might have on anything? Yes.
I enjoyed your presentation. That was very informative, especially speaking on the public health challenges that they're facing in Ghana. With China producing a whole lot of investment in African countries, and you spoke about public health challenges, educating the people, child welfare clinics, things like that, immunization. What is China's role in pushing this along in Ghana?
Well, we have, yes, good international relations with China, but I wouldn't say that when those in Ghana, Chinese companies that are in Ghana, they have a responsibility to respect the rules and regulations of Ghana. And so that is one of the things that they are supposed to do. But some of the agreements that are signed between Ghana and China are mainly into road infrastructure. See, and I've talked about the road network also contributing to delays in women or people reaching the facility. So I would say once they are involved in that, in helping us to improve our roads, in a way they are contributing to, though road construction and development takes some time, for you to see, but in a way that is a way of contributing, so people can have easy access and shorter time to reach health facilities. But not directly into health service provision of the country. The other thing too that I know they are doing is also to offer scholarships to students to go and do medicine, medicine and other health programs, pharmacy and medicine in China, hoping that if they finish, they will come back. But you see, that is an individual affair, whether people want to come back or not.
Why in your opinion is the transportation system so poor that it's only open on the market days when women, who have to deliver can get to the clinics, otherwise they cannot? Why is that? Is there a Ministry of Transportation that takes care of the transportation system? There is.
Yes. Thank you. There's a Ministry of Transport that takes care of, and it's government's responsibility really to construct the roads to these places. People pay taxes and fees.
Sure.
But our income generation, tax income is so low because the system that is run, it's not everybody, documentation is not up to scratch. So it's not everybody that is captured in the tax net. So a lot of people sell along the road. They are not shops for which you can say this is shop A. So you are captured into the tax net. People get up, they take their food stuff straight from their farms. They go to the market, sell it. Incomes level are low, so the taxes are also low, and it's the taxes that are used for the road construction. So once the income is low, then the pace at which government is developing or constructing the roads is just slow, all because government is not getting enough money. So they like to look at international partners that can support them. In fact, 3 key areas that are priority to government is health, where the resources are pushed to, is health, education, agriculture. We are on agriculture. So they look at the road networks that help with this. But the truth is the taxes that build the roads and the taxes that are coming in are just low because we have not also worked effectively to enroll everybody who is doing some kind of trading or whatever into the tax net. What happens is that those who are selling in the open market, we have people, some personnel from that the district assemblies have hired that every day they go to the marketplaces to collect tolls, you know, give them tickets at a very small fee. And of course, if I'm selling my oranges here and I don't want to pay, and I see the person coming who would demand the money from me, I can just take my thing and relocate somewhere and that kind of thing. People would do some of those things. Also because the education is continuing, but people don't seem to understand these things, that it's my tax that will build, it's a circle, it's my tax that will build the road and ease access for me to other services.
Thank you.
What percentage, because we saw in the video, I think, where it showed the urban area with automobiles and motorbikes and
Yes.
so on. And then there was that one shot about the cart being pulled by, I'm assuming a donkey or something.
Yes, yes.
So proportionately, what is really the main means in the rural area of transportation? More the cart kind of thing?
The cart is in a particular, the northern part of it, because that is what they use, and they use bicycles a lot. So depending on where you are, but if it's the urban areas, it's mainly cars. You know, cars. And for our transportation system, we have for the commercial systems, we have various means. We have taxis, we have motorbikes. Yes, as a way of, you jump onto it and it takes you where, and it's cheaper, but it has consequences. You know, motorbike riders, the way sometimes they go. But people, it's cheaper and it's faster. In urban areas, it beats down the time you spend in traffic, because in the main cities, we have real issues of traffic congestion. So it can take you more than an hour to get to work, you know, that kind of thing. So people will use their motorbike, and we have minivans that are used that carries 12 to 15 people, that reduces the cost. And long distance travels are big buses, you know. Then we have air travel also, that kind of thing. So we have various types of, but the drivers also feel if the road to that place is not that good, and people are not from the rural areas and are not coming to town all the time, I'm likely to go and be there waiting for, if I need 15 passengers, I'm likely to maybe go only once, you know, in and out only one, and that does not give me enough money, when probably I could be in the urban area and do a lot of short distances and get more money. So the card is only to some particular place where hard to reach areas where we're having what we call the CHIPS compound to be able to get the services to the people.
Dr. Chakravarti, you want to just talk about the rural healthcare services students associations?
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
Oh,
Because-
yes. I would also want to know.
Because this is the right audience, and where Dr. Bam just invited them to consider coming to Ghana.
Yes.
It's a good opportunity to think about these things.
I watch a lot of videos anyway. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm a YouTube person, and I like to watch videos. And I do watch a lot of those. I follow like a veterinary service that's there, and a lot of people have to walk to their services. And I was going to ask you, how many people does that clinic in an area at a time? Because I know people have to wait probably over an hour or more for services during that day, if that's what they decide to do. I was just wondering, like, the clinic locations in Ghana, you know, how many people can they service?
For this particular one, which we call the CHIPS compound, they just look at the populations and then select a number of communities. As you heard in the video, like this particular one of them would have 8 communities. So you are looking at people, a population between 2,000 to 5,000, that would access that clinic. But with the chief's concept of primary health, it's developed in a way that the nurse there or health worker there also has a responsibility to be going out to visit the people's homes as often as possible. So they are provided with motorbikes. That health worker, the government provides a motorbike for the person to facilitate the person's movement. Because if the people do not have the means of transport, then you have to move. Fortunately, the mobile phones are also a supporting tool where a lot of people have mobile phones now in the rural areas and that kind of thing. So even with maternal health, maternity care, there's a project that is supporting mobile health where the woman can call you, or you, the midwife, can call the woman in the remotest area, and then you can call for support if you think that you are having this case but you do not have access to the resources. You can call the nearest facility for support, so that if we can, with the motorbikes or whatever, can support and bring you some of those resources. Yes. Hello.
So this CHIPS program, is it financed totally through Ghana? Is no other outside influence for this CHIPS program?
Whether there's no outside influence for the CHIPS program.
As in, is this a totally a government entity? Is it?
Yes, yes. The CHIPS compound, the Community Health Planning Services concept, is purely a government entity. We just transform the concept of primary health care into this. So the community is involved in building that house for the health worker. Government and community comes together to build the house. The community comes with labor. They provide the labor, those who are carrying the mortar, they get masons. Then government doesn't pay for those things. The government will buy the cement and other resources. Yes.
What types of insecticides are used on the nets to ward off the mosquitoes for the women and the children in these places?
There are various types. So depending on the company, depending on the company. But we have a standards board, that ensures that whatever they use meets standards, both local and international standards. And a lot of this have to be approved by the World Health Organization in order for you to report them into it. And for the insecticide treated net, some of the UN organizations support it. That is why it's either free to the mother and child, or it's at a subsidized rate cost to other adults.
Thank you very much.
What I was referring to earlier is Dr. Chakravarti is one of the advisors to the rural